Hello farmers, Rever here, back for another episode of American Outback. And I am in the fields, and I just logged back into the game today. Not in the fields, I'm in the biogas plant. And I am getting ready, as promised in the last episode, to go cut some chaff and grass. I decided to split it up. I don't particularly need either one that much, but this is the second day of harvest, and I want to probably spread some lime on it. I haven't even looked at the spreadsheet. Figured there would be plenty of time for that while the chaff was being cut. So I will dump some of it in one of these last two bunkers and just leave it go. I mean, I've got a whole, not a whole bunker, but a quarter of a bunker there. The biogas doesn't make biogas. Now we'll need some silage for the animals, which we'll be getting some point today, probably even in the next episode, so we'll have even more running around with the trailer to do. So let me come up here and get the GPS going. 90 degrees and auto adjust, so 0.5. What is this? Garage. What does this thing say? I don't really need to undercut the field. It doesn't tell me a width, does it? Let's take a look. Yeah, that looks... Yeah, I think that's probably pretty reasonable. Good enough anyway. So let me get the pipe out before I forget that. Oops. Switch the vehicle. Alright, let's turn her on. And it's a rather loud machine. GPS going. And I will cut this field. Play some music. I heard that there's a radio function in the new version. I don't know that I'll take advantage of it, just because with the fast forwarding it wouldn't sound very good, and with the copyright kind of things, I don't really mess with all the music I get is generally from YouTube's you can have music thing. So, alright, well, let me fast forward, and when we get done this, I might even just fast forward right through cutting field 10 as well. So again, I'm going to cut 11 here for chaff because it's real easy to drop this stuff off, and then same deal, the field 10's not too far away from where I have the grass pile for the animals. So, alright, well, I'll see you guys in a brief period of time. Guys, we're back in the game. I had to restart it a couple times, but if you look down at the PDA, you will see that it's now only going to go up to 17 degrees. So now that it turned 12 o'clock, we didn't lose any moisture. That was close. I almost zoned that one. Alright, so let's head back down as planned to the farm. And there's something I forgot, which is the main reason I want to do the spreadsheet now. And we're not going to buy animals just yet. We're going to get these fields sprayed next, which means that this may pretty much be an episode that's just about taking care of these fields, which is okay. That's a little. I haven't fast forwarded the recording yet, so I don't know exactly how long it'll be, but I think doing both of these will be a decent amount of time for an episode, and then we'll come back and get some animals. So we have some spraying to do. I'll show you why in a second. Can't wait to talk about it, I guess. But I don't want to talk about it too much before we look at the spreadsheet. I think it'll be a lot clearer there. Alright, almost there. Alright, let's just hop out here. And I will see you at the spreadsheet. Okay, guys, here we are at the spreadsheet. And we are on grass field 10, which is the one we just got done cutting. And I wanted to show you what I figured out. If you saw a few crashes here or there, that's probably because I was messing with the spreadsheet, not paying attention to where we were driving. But in any event, with this one, I have figured out that we probably should spray something. And let me go along and just delete out what I have in here, just so you can see what happens if we do nothing. So what I plan on doing is skipping a day. So this would be the day. So we're at 8.3. So if we come in here, which will be day 5, and spray PK, you can see that our number for day 7 ends up 8.8. So we up a few things. Now, if we also come in here and spread some lime, that will take our number up to 7, but that's still a good number, near perfect here. So we'll put our PK off a little bit, but overall we will get to a 9.2. Now notice we'll have a 9.8 this day if we don't skip every other day. So if you notice, one thing I haven't mentioned, and I kind of forgot about it until now, is when the grass goes through its second growth cycle, it doesn't take away the PK like it does on that first growth stage. So I forgot to do that in my calculation, so these numbers were off when I first sat down and looked at it compared to what we looked at the last time, whenever that was. But the good news is we'll be able to spray some stuff, get ourselves back in the 90 percentile. Now, the other thing I want to do is take, and let's get an exact number. Come on, calculator. There you go. So the total that we had in that pile when we got done was 195, 252. And I am going to subtract the amount we started out with, which was 53, 839. So that means we had 141, 413. So if I come in here and put 141, 413, so that was our yield. Now, if you remember, we based this on the chaff harvest. So we tried to match up, this second harvest here, the first harvest. That's what we did, the first harvest right there. But what I would like to do is, let's see if we match up this harvest. So we'll change this yield number to match the first harvest of grass, because this was also, and I may keep with this trend a little bit just because, again, I got enough of each. I don't really need to cut it every day. I don't need that extra at this point. Maybe if we get more animals and start using more silage and whatnot. So I'm going to, this number here is a little bit better than half of that. So half of this will be about 35,000. So that takes the yield down to 80. So that was too low. So let's come back up to 40. Oh, so still more. So let's go to 45. That's getting pretty close. I'm not sure if we'll get much closer than that. A little bit too high. All right, so that puts that awful close to this. Close enough for now. So our grass prediction, remember we did it, what I'll do is I'll even, let's highlight this with a little bit different color. How about that blue? So this is the number we would need to look at for our prediction. So we were pretty close. So you see, it definitely seems to work, especially for the grass, with this formula. Again, you're going to be plus or minus 5%. So really, if we were off as much as 7,000, I think that would be, I'm pretty happy. And we're within 3. This one we just set up, so you can't really count that one as a prediction. And honestly, you know what? We could fine tune that number down a little bit. Let's do 150. There you go. Look, that's even closer, and that brought this number down slightly too. So, we're around 3,200 off, which is wonderful. So there you go. So that's what we plan on doing with this field. And let's come over to field 11. This is the one that I noticed, the problem with this over here, and brought my numbers back. As soon as I deleted these numbers out, it brought them right back to where I would have expected. So keep that in mind if you're doing this. And now this one has been chaff, except for this harvest wasn't chaff. So this number, which was a prediction here, should show up right here. So let's do the same blue thing. Sky blue 1. So this number's no good, but this number here would have been what we would have expected there. So this number was, off a fair amount, 12,000. So that's a little more than I would be happy with. But then again, look at this one. Now we're back down to about an 8,000 difference. So now in both cases, see now this one, this number is higher, and this number is also higher. So what we might want to do, what happens if we go to 9900? So that brought that down too far. So let's go down to 80. This number's too low. That number's definitely too low. Let's go back to 100,000. So 100,000 gets me 21. So what, we're too low on the numbers? Yeah, so we need to bring this number up. I don't know what I was thinking. Even more. Let's just go up to... Well, that number's way off now. Say, yeah, that's just way too much. 24. Yeah, now this number's too high. So this one's a little bit too low. So let's kind of go. Yeah, now we're kind of in the middle of the different numbers, in the sense that this one, well, this one's actually kind of right on. This one's too high by a bit. So let's go back to our original now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, that puts us in the ballpark. This number is a little high. This number is a little bit high. But again, we're close. You're certainly making a pretty good guesstimate as to the yield. I probably come in here and actually come up here and right click, format cells, numbers. Yeah, just delay. Decimal place is 0. There you go. Probably a little easier to read that way. So there we go. So again, this one's within 1,000 now. This one's in, 7,000, and then this one, which was a little bit high, is about 7,000. So we'll see. But you can see we definitely didn't get this much. It was a reasonable prediction. All right, well, that's enough of that. So there's the grass fields. We're going to go out there and spread some PK and lime in both fields, and that'll get us to a 9.2, on the next harvest there. So, and then if you notice, look, if we don't wait that day, so theoretically, not only are we going to get the bonus from here to here, but just waiting the extra day means we'll get about, 40,000 extra between these two numbers. Well, and again, more than that, because here we would have gotten 206 if we cut it, but we'll get 120,000 more for waiting the second day, because we have better numbers, plus you get the bigger bonus with the better numbers. All right. Well, I'm going to head back out to the farm. See you in a bit. And here we are back out on the farm, and I am going to go, we'll get the sprayer first. Not sure that it makes any difference. On the, oops, I drove right past it, didn't I? I was thinking it was over there. That's my plant cultivator. It's on the same neighborhood. On the, what I was going to say is on the crop fields, I like to spray the water first, spray whatever other nutrient. You stand a chance of seeing it. Once you spread that lime, it becomes a little bit hard to tell what's what, Lime takes up such a visual. So let's refill. Now, another good thing is we'll change from this BB, which is one of the more expensive things you can have in here. So we'll see how much money. We started out with 118,000. And let's go to some PK. There you go. So we had 12,000 more or less of that. So it costs us 6,400 to spray those fields. That's a good chunk of change. Certainly makes it tough on an easy or a hard map. That's one of the reasons I did this map in normal. It's enough of a challenge, without having to worry too much about the price of this herbicide. I've actually gone in some maps and reduced it a bit. I think it's a bit too much. Though I haven't ever really looked. All Alright, so let's come in here and not calculate anything. We want to go to F11 spray 24, and I will also get my GPS going again. And this is the course we want, so we want to load it, even though it says save there. I've gone through that enough times. And where's our starts over here, isn't it? Yeah. Let's turn this way. This thing unfold and lift it up, not hit that bulletin board. That tree. Hit that tree. Something. Alright, put the GPS on for a second. Let's move it over a bit. Alright, let's see how we make out. Just can't change my view because of the GPS. What's this? Wrap myself up in those trees. All kinds of crazy. All right, well, let me get all this spraying done, and then I'll come back, you know, when it's done. It's not going to be over exciting. A little PK here, and then I'll run up to field 10, do the PK there. And when we get done that, we can climb out and rinse and repeat. So I'll see you when that is all accomplished.